Hi, this is a quick demonstration on how to use the Phantasma token deployer to deploy an NFT on the Phantasma testnet. Now, before you start, I always find it handy to have the token deploying website over on one side of my screen and my Poltergeist wallet open on the other side of my screen, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, for the purposes of this video, we'll be using the Phantasma testnet. So to ensure that you're using the testnet to begin with, in the event that it doesn't say testnet at the top here, you want to click Settings, and next to Nexus, you want to ensure that you have testnet ticked, and then click Confirm. After you've done this, you will open the wallet that you want to use to mint your NFTs with. In this instance, I'm going to use a dummy one I created called Migration, which has been seeded with a whole bunch of tokens. And there we are, we're ready to go. So, back on the website, you want to connect this wallet. So you do so by clicking Connect. And you'll notice over here on the right, it's going to prompt me whether I want to give access or not. I'm going to say yes. You'll see now that the wallet is connected. Now, any previous NFTs that I might have minted with this wallet will start showing up here. We haven't done any with this wallet yet, so we're not seeing any. So moving on to actually minting the NFT. We're going to click NFT first, and I'm going to call this one Fruit. And my NFT name is going to be Fruit. Now for every NFT, they all need a logo. So these must be a small file. They can't really exceed a megabyte in size. So just be wary of that. I've selected my logo and there it is. Now, obviously this is just a test, but I'm going to use a URL. Now, every NFT needs a publicly resolvable URL. This is to verify authenticity. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm just using one that I may or may not be able to use, but it's just a bit of fun and it's a test. For every NFT, you'll need the URL and you'll also need the description. I'm simply typing these in. This is a fruit NFT. Now what I'm doing here in defining all this is the singular definition of the NFT. So this is for every single NFT, they will share these values. Now I have the option to specify a maximum supply. In this instance, let's just say we're going to go with 500 of these. Now, you may notice that there's this drop down here. What this lets you do is specify whether or not entries for the NFT are shared across an entire series. So this is a singular instance of an NFT, but you may want things defined here when you first define the NFT to be shared across any subsequent series of this NFT to share the same values. So for this instance, I'm going to click S next to name because I want any series for this NFT to have the same name. Now, if you don't want that, you just click the N here and it's done at an NFT level. But for this instance, we're just going to click here and the name, and we want to have the name there. Okay, we're ready to go. And that's it. This is a singular instance. I'm going to click deploy. It's going to prompt me, do you want to allow this? I'm going to say yes. And then send. It will then send it to the blockchain. And we're done. You'll see now on the left-hand side that my newly minted NFT has appeared. We also have the option in the token deployer to choose a light or dark theme because I chose an icon here that had a dark background. It's probably a good idea just to click the light mode. So now that I have my NFT, I need to put it into a series. So to do so, I click Series. I select the NFT I just created. You'll notice that the name that we set has automatically come across, which is great because that means that every series for this fruit NFT will need a name. So now we're going to click Create, at which point it's going to ask me in my wallet whether I also want to authorize this. I'm going to say yes and go. And blockchain says yes. Okay, we're cooking. Last step, we want to mint all this. So we're going to click Mint. Okay. Now you'll notice here that we've given it a definitive name of Carbon Series 1. We'll improve that in the future, but essentially this is the series that we just created. Now you'll notice here that it has automatically selected this token. Now to finalize this process, each of these NFT series require a publicly resolvable URL. So for this instance, we're just going to use, I've actually prepared one earlier. Okay, so this is the publicly resolvable image. Now this image is used in the Phantasma Explorer. It's used in the wallets. It's used all over the place. So you want to ensure that it needs to have a publicly resolvable URL. Otherwise, we would have an Explorer that had a whole bunch of broken images, which is not a good look. This was a feature that I decided on whether or not it's correct or not. I just saw that this is the best way to ensure that we don't end up with a whole bunch of junk NFTs on the chain that also show up as broken images in the Explorer. Now, for information on this NFT series, again, we're going to put in a publicly resolvable URL. And this is a description. This is a series for the fruit NFT. We also need to define the royalties. Now, this is in humanly readable percentages. Essentially what this means is any sales of this NFT, you set a percentage for how much the person that's creating them, me in this instance, will get forever. So the wallet that creates this NFT, any subsequent sales of this NFT will attract a royalty of which I'll get. So for this instance, we've got an example here, 2.5%. Let's just go with 3%. Just ignore this. So we've tried to keep this humanly readable. So putting 3 in here means 3%. We're not getting into blockchain land in terms of terminology. You type 3 in here, you're going to get 3%. That's it. Last step is to click Mint. Again, over on the wallet side, I'm going to get prompted for confirmation. I'm going to click yes. And then it's going to send it off to the blockchain. And we're done. Okay, we have now successfully minted an NFT. And you'll see here that I now have a fruit NFT in my wallet that we just minted. There we are. Done and done. That was pretty easy. Now this NFT can then be listed on a marketplace. It can be sold individually. There's no limit to what you can do. But the purposes of this presentation was just to show how simple it is for a user equipped with the right information to go in, use standard tools like a web browser, and mint their own NFTs without having to be a blockchain genius. I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me in future. Thanks again for watching, and have fun.